is what we call hater shit. There is no better term. You know me. If you know me, you know me. If you know, you know. You know, so... Who raised you?
Look at her face.
That's the theater that I worked at when I was
That's the theater I worked at when I was a teenager.
The York Theater.
The York Theater. That's the only thing she says. Okay.
But why does the city of Chicago look like a total, complete, abandoned city? Like, Black Wednesday and Black Friday are supposed to be two huge drinking holidays.
Whoa.
Huge drinking.
Really? Am I just a mom? I thought Black Friday was for shopping. And I hate it. I don't do Black Friday shopping. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it. This bitch over here. I thought it was for, like, drinking. It's like a drinking day. No, bitch. It's so you could go get your fucking Christmas presents for your kids and your family.
Like, Black Wednesday and Black Friday are supposed to be two huge drinking holidays.
So
huge drinking holidays. But I've been driving around downtown and I just went for a pickup at this pizza place called Dicey's in Westtown, and there was one table. Bar empty, entire establishment empty. What's going on in Chicago?
You're so
Look at the Hampton Social. Like, it's a Friday night. What the fuck? Volare. Dead. I mean, there's nothing open. Also,
where are the feds when you need them? This would be classified as human trafficking. Oh my gosh, Heather, not again. Not again.
Also, Xavier and I have been driving Uber Eats since approximately 1 p.m., maybe 1:30. It is now 11:09 p.m. And we've only made $79.
Girl, you need to go get
literal slave
a real
wages.
job, bro.
Literally.
What is it called? This is so Heather. Xavier, what is it called when a group of oppressors forces a person to work for below the minimum wage on a non-commission basis?
Does anyone want to explain to me what the fuck is going on? Or should I just guess? Usually I make $170 about a shift. Pretty easily, pretty effortlessly.
It's the holidays.
Pretty much do the deliveries, work maybe 6 to 8 hours, and make enough money to be okay. I've been driving since 1 p.m. I have only made $90.
Yeah, where's your gas
It's 11:30 at night. That's 10 and a half hours of my shift. And it's been like this for like 3 weeks now. Yesterday I only made $50. This is ridiculous. Does anyone have any idea what's going on? Because the city looks legit abandoned, and I'm barely bringing in any money. And I have 4 children, and it's 4 weeks before
You're probably
Christmas.
just wasting gas, bro.
I pay about $1,100 for car insurance, passenger car insurance, and my car payment is over $700 a month, which is still a significant decrease from what they were first they were charging me $384 a week to rent a car. So I wouldn't see profit until Thursday or Friday. Yesterday I was making $300 to $400 a day. Yesterday I drove from 1 p.m. to 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and I only made $120. So it's been really frustrating. yes, that is more than 12 hours. I had to turn off the meter for about an hour in between. Every few rides, I'd turn it off when I would get, too far on the west side or south side in the middle of the night and like the hood. It's just been very frustrating these last several weeks. I have Christmas for my kids in 4 weeks. I need to start a layaway and begin chipping away at the total cost, or I need to win a lump sum of money so that I can go and purchase things for my children. Since I became, susceptible to whatever corruption was going on around me systemically that ultimately ended in me being separated from my children and thrown into my home just 1 year after winning primary joint custody of my children in court, in the same court. Just 1 year later, I basically came to the understanding that the traditional morals and values that I've been taught, work hard and good things come, show up and do the right things, none of that is real. I've been bullied and forced to explain that I was literally back against the wall, forced to either cut my legs with a razor blade or be susceptible to continued prolonged bullying and torture, as well as the threat of my children having to go through that. I would not call that a mental health disorder. I would call that extortion. But what I had to say is that for the movie that I want to create, I want to make it easy for people to watch. So it would focus more on the glamorous parts of what I went through. But from part 2 yesterday, I've been getting a lot of feedback. Oh my God, it sounds so awesome, blah, blah, blah. What I'd like to also say is this. I worked in healthcare for close to 50 hours a week for 6 years at Northwestern Hospital. 10 of those hours a week would be unpaid off-the-clock hours that I was forced to complete for the entire patient flow and for the purpose of expeditious and quality patient care. If I did not stay and work off the clock for those hours, I would not have been able to do my job effectively. So I talk about the medical field being so great and how I loved it so much, and I didn't mention all of that. I didn't mention that I had a late postpartum hemorrhage with my daughter Alexis and almost died and got no sick pay or leave from Northwestern Hospital, which was, it's a medical facility, Northwestern. So, and it's like that at all the hospitals. So this is my home. I've been in Chicago for 20 years. Never have I lived in another state. Never will I live in another state. And so I need solutions. I need not confrontation. I need solutions. And when I talk about the things I've gone through, okay, so that's I spoke about healthcare. It was great. I got to dress nice. I got a nice, beautiful office. I worked, a normal first shift schedule. I had regular pay. That's one perspective, all true. I was working off the clock for close to 10 hours a week. I was taking on 5 to 7 doctors plus diabetic education for the entire internal medicine team on an as-needed basis, while other assistants were paid more to do less than what I did for 1 doctor rather than 7. They're both true. One of them has a context that's not as appealing. The other one sounds fun and stable and safe. They're both true. So as I go through these 12-part series, I'd like you to use your adult minds and think about context and think about the fact that if I were to mention every fucking perspective every single time I speak about anything, a 1 hour, which is already long and drawn out, would turn into easily 6 or 7 hours. You have no idea how comprehensive the situation is, okay? Also, when I'm talking about working in the nightlife industry, I cannot talk about everything I went through as if I'm the victim in every set of circumstances, regardless of whether I am or not. If someone gave me drugs without my permission, I have to say, oh my God, these guys were so crazy. They were always mixing drugs in their champagne. Ha ha ha. because that's the way it has to fucking be said, so that I am not their victim, causing them to feel insecure about me sharing my experience, etc. and so forth. So I'd like you all to pump the fucking brakes on the commentary. I'd like everyone in my fucking comments sending pictures of 10-cent teeth to be indicted. What is it going to take? Do I have to be extorted again to go and cut my legs up? Or would you guys be happier if I put some razor blade marks on my face or arms or somewhere else in my body to get you the fuck out of my comments? 6 years later, there's no such thing as COVID. It's 2025. No one has that. That was a 2019 thing. Why are you coming in my fucking narrative pretending like it's 2019? It's not. And half the fucking demographics that I get matched up with don't even know what COVID is. A national health pandemic and crisis that killed millions of people. There are waves of nomadic travelers coming through the Chicagoland area who don't even know what the fuck that is. But I'm the one who needs a psychiatric evaluation. You have exposed me to 1,000,001 different judgments, abuses, mindsets, technological boxes, people who have different levels of understanding to everything. Here's what I've learned. Men, they fuck around on their wives. They do. Some men are real pigs. Other men, not so much. But as an overall general rule, men fuck around on their wives. There are numerous technological advances that help them conceal these types of behaviors. I'm not your problem. I'm not. Not at all. I've never, not one single time pursued someone else's husband, encouraged him to leave his family. That's never been me, no matter what job I was working, no matter what I needed, no matter how, pressed for money or late on bills or what my children have needed. I have never home wrecked someone else's home, ever, under any circumstances. Have I engaged in a business transaction with someone who had a family at home? I'm sure. Is it one of my fucking pre-qualifying questions, or was it ever? It's not. It has not been. Okay? So I don't understand the hatred that I've been getting over the last while since I started explaining some of these things. This is not any part of the 12. I already did 1 and 2 of 12. We're moving on to part 3 today, but not right now. I just needed to come on here and explain the importance of context, because I'm not your problem, I'm really not, and I've never been. You are getting distracted, that's what's going on. I have a job to do, and that's take care of my 4 children and my grandchild.
Oh my gosh, I
and
just
my
now
husband,
got to watch this.
who's having a mental health issue.
Oh, he's the one
since we
having the mental health issue?
to regain our stability. Xavier's brother is the district attorney for the state of Illinois. Did you guys know that? So me being assaulted sexually, it would be a pretty reliable and safe bet to know that my significant other, who came and found me and sought me out and said, I'm taking you to a safe house, has a brother who's a DA, right? So it wouldn't be crazy that I'd be waiting for better fucking solutions than what's been presented so far, would it?
Okay, so is this like a bad crash out after you take drugs?
Shout out to the district attorney. I hope you guys are okay out there, wherever the fuck you guys are. I can only imagine the type of pressure that you're under on any given daily basis, because the way they're treating me, I'd rather hurdle myself from the top of that building or that building or that building or pretty much any other fucking building than go through one more day of this shit. So, happy 2 days after Thanksgiving. I have to find a way to fucking move mountains so that I can provide the least that will allow me to continue living like a decent human being for my children. Because I deserve to be able to provide them the most. They're fucking amazing and have been through hell with me. But as a result of whatever the fuck is going on around me that I can't adequately see or feel or interpret, I'm just barely able to fucking make it right now. So
look at Xavier.
It's a funny time that
he's
they
rolling
choose,
his eyes.
I'm making 300 to 400 a day, almost every other day, 250,
You
for
said
a few
100
months. But
or
now,
90.
4 weeks before Christmas, they're going to choose to put me to like $80 to $120 a day, driving all fucking day long, and then decrease my visits with Weston. We saw Weston 4 days a week from the time he was about 6 months old all the way until, I would say, June, July of this year. Then in August of this year, LaFawn quit the case, saying that she was having some sort of personal issues or something like that, but that's not what case management said to me and Xavier. Case management came into the office with Xavier and I, said that she quit because of us, because specifically me, because I text to confirm visits too much, and that these drivers don't even like me. Mind you, the drivers have told me openly their sexual habits and numerous other inappropriate things, but I'm the problem for confirming my visits too much.
You are the problem.
For the record, again, if I've not said it enough, I'll say it again. I have never consented to be a part of whatever fucking weird shit is going on here. I want to be with my kids, and my storytelling is all in context. I am trying to deliver something entertaining for the documentary people to create. But there is a whole lot of suffering and victimization and predatory behavior and, NR17 type shit that has gone on and continues to go on that I am intentionally withholding from the majority of the narrative for the purpose of keeping myself and my family safe from any sort of perceived threat of or actual threat of retaliation for the memories that I have. So I hope that these fucking people get literally murdered for bullying me for 6
Heather,
years.
don't say that.
I hope that the state's government is held accountable and responsible for everything that they have allowed to happen to me. And I hope that restitution comes to me and my family sooner than later, because I don't know how much longer I can hang on like this. Basically, I didn't get back on yesterday to do a part 3 of 12, so I'm gonna do it right now. Last night, Xavier and I were doing photo shoots. I like to stay always documenting everything about my life and what I'm going through, because I have witnessed so much hatred and storytelling with regards to my situation, the way I look, the way I live, the way I eat, the way I dress, the way I exercise or don't exercise, the way I work or don't work, that I just like to always keep everything in line and just together, organized, documented. Today is Sunday. I am working for the last several $100s that I need for the kids' Christmas layaway. To start it, I always get the basics, like things that they need: underwear, socks, hygiene products, like higher end ones, maybe a bottle of perfume or some body spray, deodorant, and then maybe a couple of sweaters or hoodies. I have 4 children. And I have never, with the exception of about 3 months in my life, I have never made or been on track to make a 6-figure annual income. So I know there are people making much more than that, and also people making much less than that. I'm interested only in making more. And if not making more, finding creative ways to accommodate the lifestyle of a 6-figure plus earner, 9-figure, wherever you're at. For me, I have not hit 6 figures. My ex-husband and I, Dylan, we were selling renewable energy, and we were making more than 6 figures annual between the two of us, but he was making the majority himself. He was making like $15,000 a week, and I was making like between $2,000 and $3,000 a week at the highest that we ever made. So, and we weren't able to sustain that for longer than a few months before literally all of the hatred and like drama caused just implosion all around us. So Vivi and Lewis are now older. They're 19 and 17. Vivi has her own child and a relationship, a significant other, and they kind of like low-key remind me of myself and her father in a lot of ways. But I'm jumping ahead. And Alexis is 12 and Weston is 21 months, 22 months almost. For part 3 of 12, we left off that I had just left my career in healthcare following a late postpartum hemorrhage, and there's a lot that goes into that. I'm going to be creating like a literal Heather application so that rather than being held in these check boxes while people like force me to answer questions and like be pressured, we can literally just have a really neat and organized way to ask and answer any question that you may have, because it's been ridiculous. And I circulated this post again for like the 100th time. It keeps coming through my newsfeed and I take it as a sign. It's a combo between Khloe Kardashian and Kim Kardashian. Kim looks a little shook. Khloe is having a salad or like eating and like advising Kim of what to say, and her narrative is, something along the lines of, it's my job to defend myself and protect my reputation for my children and for the sake of my business. For the sake of my children and for the sake of my business. And that's so real. So it's just been so time consuming for me to be answering all of these questions. And most of them are not like easy or glamorous to answer. Most of them stir up a bunch of post-traumatic stress disorder and cause like vivid memories of times that I would just as soon forget. So I'm hoping to organize the information and work with the technological team in an effort to get actual real Heather perspective answers to all of these questions. But for 3 out of 12, we leave off that I started working in the entertainment industry, and I'd like to elaborate for 3 out of 12 what exactly kind of work was I doing, how did I get involved in that work, etc. So when I left the healthcare field, I was feeling particularly used and abused and exploited. And it's crazy because those are like 3 of the strongest words that I would use to describe most of the situations that I've walked away from. And I have to ask myself, with these types of cyclical, patterns and behaviors, is it people pleasing? Is it necessity? Is it ignorance to any other way? Am I being, bound and gagged, for lack of a better term, into, having these sorts of issues? Or participating in these sorts of whatever situations, environments, business models, whatever they're called. But basically, when I left healthcare, I had no time off. I was working 50 to 56 hours on average a week, 10 to 16 of those hours off of the clock with no overtime pay. My doctors were awesome, but there was no direct relationship or responsibility to the people who had the ability to affect my pay. So while I was working on the basis of hourly pay structure, I was basically a salaried employee, because hourly pay structure employees get paid their hourly rate, which I believe mine was like 22 or 21, like 75 when I left. Mind you, this is 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And I was making that money, but I was working really hard for it. And as I said, they would not approve overtime after 40 hours. So I was there into the 50, 56 hour range, and I was only making, what a 40-hour worker was making. And I was also in those hours doing probably 5 or 6 full-time positions, by someone's standard. So I had the late postpartum hemorrhage with Alexis, which is when my body retained placental tissue after I gave birth to her. It was at Elmhurst Hospital, and I remember looking down at the placenta. I already had 2 children, Vivi and Lewis, and saying to the doctor, it was Dr. Marco Martinez, saying to him, hey, does that look normal? Like, usually the placenta comes out intact. It kind of looks like a liver or something. I'm like, that looks a little scary to me. And he was like, no, it's entirely normal. Less than 2 weeks later, I woke up from a dead sleep, covered in blood to my knees. It was Alexis who woke me up to breastfeed because I was nursing at the time. And I woke up to feed her, and it felt like when I sat up, it felt like I had like another water break, but it was blood. And basically, when you retain placental tissue, your body begins to treat the placental tissue as if it's a foreign object within the body, and the blood is the body's way of attempting to remove the foreign object. So the placenta at that point in time is nothing more than dead tissue, right? So it's necrosis has occurred. It was at one time live part of your body, the placenta. It's connected to an umbilical cord, and your nourishment nourishes it. But once they cut it off of the body, it's just dead tissue within your uterus that your body is trying to expel. So my body was trying to push all of this out, and naturally, and I almost died. I had to have 2 liters of blood transfused. And Alexis was with me in the hospital, just as healthy and happy as can be, while I'm like almost dying there, But Northwestern did not have the ability or desire to give me any more paid time off. I had three children at this point. Vivi and Lewis were young. I needed money. I had a rent, I had bills. So it was a difficult decision, but I just had to leave. I was not getting where I needed to go. And when I entered the entertainment industry, it was after, accepting a job as an office manager for an ophthalmology clinic. That job at Northwestern was administrator for endocrinology, rheumatology, diabetic education, and nutrition, plus newly diagnosed diabetics. For all of the internal medicine doctors were getting diabetic education from me, and glucometer and insulin use instruction. So, and there were about 20 internists. They would page me anytime they had a newly diagnosed diabetic. So it was a good amount of work, and moving to an industry-based position was a huge step, but there was this mirage around the money. The money was always being recycled through the same hands. We were all spending and recycling the same money. So the money I would spend to pay out the employees, they would then go back to the club and spend there, and it was like this repetitive, kind of cycle. So it formed almost like teams, because you start like contributing to the livelihood. If you like a bartender somewhere, you go
Time to lift. They canceled our visit with Weston, claiming the driver is having car trouble. If you know, you know. We are the light. Look, Christmas is coming. If you have any expendable income, please do a shoebox for a child in need this season.
If you guys don't have kids, or have kids but have a little extra, even if it's just a little, do a shoebox. If this is something that you're interested in, let me know and I can get you hooked up with a package. You're not even going to do it. It's basically just a shoebox sized structure that you fill with either boy or girl toys, and then you label it, and you choose the age range, and then you send it back in with $10 to cover shipping and handling. Everyone should be doing one of these, especially if you don't have kids and you have an income, or more than one. If you want to pack it, let me know. DM me.
Girl, shut the fuck up. Or you can just pay and build a box online by clicking here. Yeah, no shit. Why the fuck?
As a follow-up to my I'm Hungry song, requesting Gibson's, we ended up at Whole Foods. $13 gets you 2 sides.
That's a
I got
lot,
the Greek
though.
salad for both of my sides. It's my favorite. It's red onion, tomato, cucumber, feta cheese, and little tortellinis.
You're gonna get eyebrows
and then
on
you
your
get
hat.
1 protein, and I got the grilled rosemary chicken. Really delicious. $13 a plate.
Mommy? She captioned it Mommy? You're so weird, Heather. My God. Okay. You and your photo shoots were, I can't. It's just, she thinks she put so much work into it. It's so funny. She probably, like, thinks this one's so hot, but it's really fucking hot.
Children that were being implanted with what medical doctors, mind you, my name is Heather Gillespie. I'm looking for a career marketing firm that I could create for myself and like-minded individuals with similar experience to start a healthcare consulting company. We would be helpful to various agencies such as law enforcement, legal, lawyers, doctors being sued or depositions that are needed, IT and technology. We could provide both front end and back end medical office insight and expertise to what would be helpful and what would be not so helpful, etc., and so forth. Now, imagine, that being said, pretend like what I'm saying right now could be true. Maybe it's not.
Okay, let's go back to, I'm gonna get a line.
If it's true, then I'm crazy. But let's just pretend like we don't know if it's true or not. Who remembers children getting tubes in their ears? Anyone?
Skip to live.
You're a liar.
I am not a liar.
Mistaken.
You're a liar.
Now, just who's heard of laser eye surgery? Anyone? You go to sleep with fucked up eyes. You wake.
That's fucked up.
Wake up, all of a sudden you see 20/20 vision, maybe even better than 20/20 vision. Who's heard of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses? Anyone? You want me to believe, as an intelligent adult woman with 4 children, that we have the medical advances that are needed in society to literally put a tube inside of a child's ear while they're unconscious to repair someone's vision in under 30 minutes with a laser, but you want me to believe that we don't have the ability to use the same technology being used in Meta glasses that go in a frame, in a contact lens, or as an implant on the actual eye?
We just drive. You're making me nervous.
All day, bro. This is society. I don't even live in the upper echelon of society. I live in, I call it upper mid, right? Better than regular mid, but not as good as love.
She says upper mid.
That's where I'm trying to get to luxury living, right? And I've been there before, and it's fucking fantastic. If they tell you it's not, they're lying. But this causes me to think all of these things while I'm sitting there externally. Have you guys ever seen those shows where there's like, if I'm the main character in the show, it's like little devil Heather on one shoulder, little angel Heather on the other shoulder. They're both adorable and hot, you know, and they're just like, no, don't do it. And the other one's like, yes, you've got no choice. You've got to do it, right? That's me at all times in every situation. All times in every situation. Benefits, you know, possible negative outcomes, risk mitigation. What's the best choice? There's very little to no impulsivity with regards to me and my thought processes. Yet,
what the fuck was that noise?
We are at this space in the world and in time where there are people who are profiting.
You are high as heck.
Off of the ignorance. And by ignorance, what is the definition of the word ignorant? Xavier? Not knowing. It's not really necessarily
Xavier, not knowing
a derogatory or insulting, thing to say about someone. It's could be true, and you could meet it in a way that's not at all harmful. But this ignorance surrounding technology is something that many are profiting from substantially. There is huge stakeholder access, stakeholder interest, and stakeholder benefit in the involvement of people who do know about these technologies, monitoring the people who do not. They're victims, so to speak. Are there people who know about this type of technology that are using it for ways that are not nefarious? I'm sure that there are. I'm sure that there are many of them. But there are absolutely, most definitely people who are using this shit to be harmful. And I can attest to that firsthand. I mean, have you ever been looking at something and then all of a sudden
have you ever loved someone
more information
so
about whatever it was you were looking at than you ever had in your entire life? Downloads? What about that story about the Neuralink paraplegic patient using brain waves with a Neuralink implant in his brain to turn the radio on and change the radio station?
I'm sorry, this is going to be so annoying whenever I chat.
You can read about and see all of this taking place, but you don't believe that it's possible for someone to freeze a security camera that's Wi-Fi based or loop a regular live feed of security camera on a split screen, a frozen screen, or a screen where someone's doing a repetitive task that's difficult to pick up on, whether or not there have been changes in that task or in the actual action associated with that task. What the fuck? They're doing that shit, and every fucking time I pick up on it and I go make a report with law enforcement or try to go to the proper channels of authority, they just come back and say that I'm wrong, that I'm crazy, that I'm imagining. But I'm taking losses, financial, mental, physical, familial.
I thought she was going to say familia.
Because they won't acknowledge that what I'm saying is true. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? Half of us are being kept in this space of the world where we're supposed to believe that certain things don't exist, while the other half of us are using them on a daily basis to get money, get ahead, build homes, build safety. Safety. What is safety? What is safety? It might be a house. It might be a line of protection. It might be access to information. It might be a physical, mental, or virtual space where a person can go to not feel, like anyone else can harm them, steal from them, do something just pleasurable to them. That's what a safe space or a feeling of safety is. If not knowing is providing that safety to some people, but destroying it for others, is it morally or ethically sound to continue to decipher on a person-by-person basis who is ready to have access to that information? Should there not be a formal regulatory system in place for when a person starts figuring this shit out? Because the more I find out, the more John Wick I feel, if we're being honest. The more they make me appear to be crazy, Xavier appear to be crazy. I actually was told in advance that they were going to call this a regression and that they were going to be externally controlling me for the purpose of sending a message that I don't want to fucking be a part of. So what do you do when you're me, Heather Gillespie, sitting in her own body, seemingly being controlled by people who are not Heather Gillespie? Years. Can you imagine being aware for so long? Well, I would like to be referred to technology class, software development class, technological advancement planning, consulting, let me make a list of the things I'd like to be referred for. Nowhere on that list are you going to find task or drug testing. So I'm so fucking sick and tired of this bullshit. I want to be around people who are greater than I am, who can help me lift myself and then reach and hoist my family up to this space of existence that I know is real, that I've lived before, that I've enjoyed living, and I would like to only exist with my family in that space. I would like to be the fifth of five in groups that are making millions and billions. I would like to be the fifth of five in groups that are lifting weights and competing as bodybuilders, the best bodybuilders of all time. I would like to be the fifth of five of people who are the best mothers ever to their children. I would like to be the fifth of five to the best wives in the entire country, in the entire world. But everything is subjective. So how do you create those groups? You have to be able to identify what makes the best wife, the best wife, the best mom, the best mom. And to some, it's not going to be the same. So we need to collect data sets.
Oh my gosh, so much is going on right now.
Everyone is asked, what are the police officer, wife, service agent, CIA agent, scientist, biology student, doctor, friend, all of these things. Those are the fifth of five that I want to be a part of. Those are the groups that I want to be a part of. Fifth of five in real estate, fifth of five, you fucking name it. Makeup applicators, makeup artists, fashion models. I want to be the fifth of five in those groups. I'm tired of fucking being the fifth of five in the drug test group. I'm tired of being the fucking fifth of five in the group that bends over and gets fucked in the asshole, no lube. Raped, for lack of a better term. I don't want to fucking be the fifth of five in that group anymore. I don't want to fucking be in that group at all. Don't want to be a part of that group. So while I'm asking for an exact play-by-play of what it is that is required of me to no longer have to be surrounded by mediocrity, they're coming back and saying, well, just go with those fuck-ups some more. That should help. That doesn't help me. Listen to me clearly. This goes for anyone in the United States and world. If you are trapped with a group of people that engages in any sort of behavior that is deemed inappropriate by the rest of society, but you are blocked off by any external influence or guidance and only submerged in the bullshit, you become part of the bullshit. The system is making me a part of bullshit that I've never been exposed to or a part of before, and calling it being a deep state asset. Fuck you. I want to be a mom, the best mom. I want to live in a luxury fucking high-rise where I don't have to press buttons to open the elevator or, set an alarm. I can simply just go where I want to go, and my mind knows where I need to be, and so it opens the fucking door for me. And I know that shit exists. I deliver food to people who live that way. I give Uber rides to people who live that way. What needs to happen for me to be the fifth of those five? That's the goal. That's the only goal that I want to work for. To be the best mom, to be the best woman, to be the best wife, to be the best at making money, to be the best at having fun, to be the best driver, to be the best bipartisan person capable of seeing things from a multitude of perspectives and offering verbal testimony to assist others, or whatever needs to be offered, as long as it's not a predatory weird thing like rape or something, So that's where I'm at. I just wanted to jump on here and say that a little bit. A lot of my content over the last several days has just been me being subjected to numerous crazy-making amounts of pressure. Lots of people stalking, harassing again. As I said before, everything that took place in 2020 has found a way to somehow be legal. It's just a thing that I saw happening that had no name, that I gave a name. That's it. You know? So anyways, I'm here at Sephora. Shout out to Sephora for helping me not blow my brains out when I feel like I don't want to live anymore under the current regime. I come to Nordstrom or Sephora and I smell all of the perfumes and put stuff in my hair and make a couple of purchases here or there. I always limit myself to $50 or less a month, which for someone who works 7 days a week every single day and has very little to zero downtime, I think that $50 a month is way, way, way undercutting it. It should be something closer to like 50 grand a month expendable income for her and her children after everything I've been through and what I'm trying to provide. A house, first and foremost. And you know what? I want to live with people who want to spend money the same way I do. Because you know what happens when I spend? I stimulate the fucking economy. And you know what happens then? Other people get to spend. I want to live around a bunch of people who want to be the fifth of five in a group like me and who are willing to make the money and then put it back into the economy so that everyone can use it and celebrate it and enjoy it. And I've already found out a way to do so, the UBI, but nobody wants to fucking hear me. ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what is a universal basic income? Ask ChatGPT, would a universal basic income solve poverty in the world? Have a good conversation with ChatGPT and enlighten yourself to the fact that most of the problems that we're currently experiencing, they don't need to be problems at all, but they still are.
How the fuck can you shop at Sephora whenever you're broke? No sound. Okay, great. I wonder how long she'll go without no sound because she doesn't ever watch chat. But I wonder if she'll at least see enough to be like, okay, maybe there's actually no sound. And then she'll just leave and come back. Wonder what Xavier has to listen to today. Same old stuff, huh? It's so crazy because it might. Like, this is how long she, look at her. Look, Heather, look at the comments. Look at us. Poor Xavier. He's going to have to listen to this again. Again and again and again and again. This is so crazy. Oh, there's her fingers. Don't point at me. What the fuck, bitch? You know how stupid she's gonna feel sitting here yelling at everybody and ain't nobody can even hear you? I'm honestly really curious. I'm in the car line right now. They're gonna come out in a few minutes. But I want to see how long she goes. I'm so curious how long. It's been 5 minutes so far that she's been talking muted and nobody can hear her and everyone keeps telling her, and that's how much she don't give a fuck. Look at Xavier passing out. It's like a bedtime story. It makes him fall asleep. Look at Xavier. Oh my gosh, Xavier. Nodding out. Watch. Pick it up, Xavier. Pick it up. Dropped. Oh my gosh, she's still dropping. Pick it up. Pick your motherfucking head up. Dude. Xavier, what makes people pass out like that? I mean, I guess... Well, I don't know. Maybe, I guess it could be multiple things? What do y'all think? What do y'all think Xavier might be on? And I don't know if this has anything to do with it. I'm going to just turn this into a mom bear shirt. I don't know if this has anything to do with it. But whenever, like, I could see his face and he makes weird faces. And then he passes out. And, like, right here, he's nodding the fuck out. Like, he ain't just, like, tired. Like, he didn't have a long, hard day and he's just tired. He's nodding the fuck out. Xavier's like, I'm not listening to this shit either. Heather is the only one who's listening to herself talk. Can you imagine you got someone in the back seat and then you go live and you're sitting there ranting and the whole fucking time ain't nobody can hear you? Ain't nobody listening. Nope, there he goes, nodding out again. Oh, she's hitting her chest. She's getting a little feisty now. Where are we at? We're almost at 9 minutes. I'm so behind on her shit, and this is why. She does stupid bullshit like this. And I'm OCD. I feel like I cannot miss anything. I have to put everything in there just in case. And she just won't give me a break. I wonder how she has not seen it. Like, has she not seen it seriously at all? Or does she see it, like, a little bit and then she just thinks people are lying? Like, she's mad. I'm pretty sure she just yelled shit. Well, I feel like I'm just recording the chat, I guess, and Heather getting mad, and Xavier nodding out in the backseat on mute. Just get it out, Heather. Just get it out. Whatever. How exciting. You can't even save her now.
Después de muchos años, después de que me chingué la rodilla.
That's almost a manic laugh.
These are the reasons why Hispanic people want to catch me.
Hispanic people. What are you listening to? Oh, here comes Susie Giver. Like, he's the bitch. He always has to go inside and get it. I swear, if you end this live, I can only do so much.
I think that YouTube would benefit from a button where you could choose
I knew it. She didn't want
neither
comments.
for children nor averse to children.
I swear.
Because or adverse to children's consumption of whatever the content is, because there's totally tons of content that I wouldn't say is specifically made for children, but could have some crossover value. So that's always a confusing question for me at the beginning. Another confusing question for me that I
not really,
always have to think about is, are you a robot?
You're never for kids. I mean, you are never for kids.
Doesn't that make you believe that there most certainly must be robot humans? Because otherwise, why would they ask? If no one is a robot,
I thought
then
you loved
why
AI.
would they need to ask?
Didn't you take a class or something?
And you guys heard my last thing about cyborgs.
Bean, really?
Cyborgs are actually kinds of robots, kind of. So, and depending on the implant or the prosthetic, are definitely robots. Anyways, this is supposed to be episode 6 of 12 or 5 of 12. 6 of 12.
Oh my gosh, I'm so behind.
Begin to discuss the way that I spent my time after meeting Xavier. So, the day was someday in June or July. I was dropped off at Walgreens on Ontario and Clark by an undercover officer with a Suburban with law enforcement plates on it and a badge. And I was with this person for about I would say a month. And the first 3 weeks I spent living in this. That's a guess. It could have been 3 weeks.
I need to catch up.
But the first 3 weeks were spent living in this safe house called the Franklin Park Penthouse, is what I name all these places so that I can reference them later.
Darn it.
It was a printing and paper shop that printed magazines, flyers, mailers, things of that nature. And did so in a factory style of setting, and then warehouse. And then the upstairs was like a big conference room with a dry erase board, a ping pong table, an Xbox, some GoPro equipment and videography equipment, some other things for shooting podcasts, a fitness room, reglando los techos. Todas las personas tienen que ir caminando a todas las calles buscando unas casas que tienen problema con su techo. Si hay una tormenta o está lloviendo o algo así, and your roof is leaking or the wind takes off one, ¿cómo se llama de esa cosa? Shingle. Then you need to have your roof repaired. And the company that he owns works directly with your insurance of your homeowner's insurance. And so they would hire and train sales teams, and he would do a lot of hiring in Spanish, and he had no literature in English. So he was having problems with some authorities locally, and I think he works nationally, because in order to do this nationally, all you need is one person on your team with a contracting license. And then you can just have everyone else, that doesn't really need any formal experience or licensing. So I was going to do the administration, and sales. I'm great at both of those things. The administration is cuando te ves algo, you go to the house, you knock on the door, you say, hey, we want to set an appointment with a salesperson to come. You don't call them a salesperson, you say a roofing expert to come and, look at your roof. I noticed from street level that it appears as though you're missing a few shingles, and we'd like to, see what we can do for you. Most of the time, our customers end up not having to come out of pocket at all, or maybe if they have a deductible, that would be the only out-of-pocket expense. Good morning. So, can we set an appointment for a professional to come get up on the roof and look at it? And then the homeowner will either say yes or no. They'll give you a copy of their homeowner's insurance policy, and you'll already begin, just like in a doctor's office, if someone, gets diagnosed with something and we have to do imaging, then schedule them for surgery, then have medical device representation, you get a copy of their insurance policy. That's what I did in my job at Northwestern, part one of the many responsibilities. And you have to look, okay, if they're going to be covered for this surgery, what diagnosis needs to be billed with it? Okay, what do we need to try preventatively or before the insurance will cover, the surgery? And then you start making a plan for this patient that's going to be cost effective and convenient. So you find facilities and doctors that meet their insurance's, requirements. You find all of this stuff for them and you plan it out. And it's the exact same thing with the homeowners, with, billing. Oh, no, it's not a mobile order. It's $6. One of them has a everything bagel. One of them has a cinnamon bagel. A one hot coffee and one iced coffee with pumpkin and a little cold foam. Thank you. Thank you.
Decline. Can I get another card? It said decline.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
I only have one card, so it shouldn't be declined, and I just transferred the money like a few seconds ago. No, that's okay. I'll just pull it up right now. Let me just make sure it's not locked. I've had a lot of fraud on my accounts. There's a lot of losers and bums that like to steal from a single mother with 4 children.
Oh my God.
So I have to always keep my card on lock. So let me just make sure that it is.
Crazy.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she knows the chat's going crazy. I thought it would be funny.
Yeah, no, the balance is there. Can you try again?
That's so crazy. It can accept it this time, but that was funny.
Declining, and I don't know.
Oh, girl, you better have some.
Oh, that's so weird.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
know. Let's see.
Dude. She's pissed she had to get off live to check her balance. Dude, that... I mean, that sucks when your card gets declined. But whenever she's sitting there and she buys, like, Botox, $300 Botox, $20 plates, and then she can't pay rent and, like, all this shit, it's like, why don't y'all stop spending money on, y'all's little activities that y'all do?
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, why does it keep going back?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I leave off? Oh yeah, they just go around selling to various homeowners the service of contracting. There's no ketchup.
Don't go back for ketchup.
Can I have ketchup? Can I have a ketchup, please? Like 3 or 4 of them? Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So they offer contracting services to people to have their homes repaired, whatever's wrong with their home. And then they do so, pardon me, sir. And then they do
Yeah, you almost
so
hit
in
him.
a way that costs the homeowner the least. So whatever they can do to work out a low deductible, no deductible, or waive the deductible. And this person was basically only able to sell to people with like Spanish-speaking households. He didn't really have the best English and was not doing a lot of sales to people in English. So I was translating all of his propaganda, is what he called it. I called it marketing material. In Spanish, it's like closer to propaganda. And making his scripts, making his just doing everything, like literally all of his administrative function. So basically, I'm thinking that my job search is over. I found another career that I'll be great at. I'm great at sales. I'm great at admin. And then that happens with the Indian guy's wife coming up. Like, you own a printing press, and you told me that, like, the upstairs was for me. There was a green screen. They knew I did content. And then 2 weeks later, your wife is upset. Like, why wouldn't you clear that with your wife? That makes no sense. It was a non-sexual relationship, and they knew that I was there under duress and literally, like, fighting for my life from being sexually assaulted and thrown outside of my house unlawfully and all of these things that I had gone through. Babe, did she give a straw?
No.
Stop.
No. Let's help someone get it.
Mm-hmm. Please. So, I end up leaving there, spending 2 nights on that guy's couch. He introduced me to his whole family, which was oddly like a super doppelganger version of my own
gosh.
family. Like me, Louis, Vivi, and Bebe. It was really fucking weird. But, it was just a weird thing, you know? And there's, and weird in a lot of ways, but also like super consistent
weird.
and on point in a lot of other ways. Like, how they keep on telling me that, you know, everything is resolved and just basically
Glad you got your
misrepresenting
coffee.
the
I got my
situation. And
Folgers over here.
so after 2 days there, he said that his wife was getting upset because she was pregnant and not happy with me, like, being there on the sofa. But that they were very grateful for what I had done translating their work to English and all of those things, blah, blah, blah. So there was no, like, ill will, but his son dropped me off after a doctor's appointment right there at Walgreens and Ontario and Clark. And I literally unloaded all of my stuff, luggages, bins, toaster oven, blankets, my air mattress, everything I had, clothes, production equipment, lights, yoga mat, probably about 5 big bags of luggage and like a big, huge, like, tote, plastic tote, Rubbermaid tote. My laptop in there, everything. And that's all the stuff that got stolen from Xavier's father's house. All of it. All my clothes, naked wardrobe clothes from Nordstrom, clothes from Ross, clothes from Marshall's, all brand new. Were purchased within the last 3 months because every single time I get a new wardrobe, they would just come and fucking rob me for everything that I had. Over and over and over
Because you
again.
have the best shit
and
ever.
I kept on calling the police, and the police would blatantly laugh in my face. So I just gave up on calling the police.
Sit down, air smells like a danger.
Now, that is when I met Xavier about an hour after that. An hour after that, Xavier came to me and said, Jehovah God sent me to protect you and you safe. Those are his exact words. He said, there's a safe house in the Gold Coast that my dad has where I can take you and I can keep you safe there and no one is going to hurt you anymore. And I was like, I don't believe you. Prove it, and we went to these church steps and we sat there, the church on Chicago and State across the street from Whole Foods, and we sat there with all of my belongings because I couldn't carry everything alone, and he was on a Zumo bike dressed in Levi's and like Nikes and a jean jacket, and he like took half of my stuff and I walked the other half of my stuff, and I'm like, can't your dad just order us an Uber?
Can't your dad just do this? Can't your dad
my bank
just
account
do
had been
that?
frauded
Can't your
again.
dad
Like, it
just
was
give
just
me
awful.
this?
And I have been 0 days indoors in a hotel or in anywhere unless I had paid cash for it. And I have a paper trail. None of my shit is fraud. So they wouldn't let me do fraud if it was the last way for me to fucking survive in the world. Like, they don't give a fuck. Literally left me outside to be raped. If you don't understand that, now you fucking can't. You know, like, if you're thinking that I'm the problem here, that I've been like getting myself hotel rooms and saying that I've been staying in a tent, I swear to God on my life, on my children's life, that's not the truth. I've never once done that. Anytime that I've been homeless and without shelter, I've literally been sleeping either outdoors by myself or outdoors in a tent and with Xavier. And that's been the last since about a year before Weston was born. You know, and there's a whole lot more after that. So Xavier tells me he's taking me to the safe house in the Gold Coast, which we did end up going the second night. We spent there. We stayed there for about another month. But nothing ever ends up, you know, going to court, or I never got a meeting with his brother, who's the district attorney, you know, or anything like that. So I'm going off of intuition and like a blind and deaf kind of vibe, kind of just feeling, gut feeling of what's going on and where to go. And intermittently, among all of these adversities, obstacles, travesties, operations, government and non-government sanctioned operations, I'm just, like I said, blind and deaf. There is no lead. There is no one saying, Heather, do this next. Heather, go in this direction. It's me feeling which way to go and going. So, I am very eager to, you know, get into part 7, but we'll leave it there for today. So that was the Franklin Park penthouse through the time I met Xavier. And when we pick up next time, Xavier and I will have been in his father's house for about a month. Which to this day, I'm not sure if it's actually his father's house or a safe house, because it was presented to me as being both. And I was told that that condo was going to be signed over to my children and I for restitution for everything that we went through.
Rocky.
So that's where I'm at. I hope you guys have a great day on Saturday. I'm working day 6 out of 7. I'll be working tomorrow as well. If you guys agree, please order DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. Let's feed these delivery drivers. Give big tips. It's the holiday season. 25% or greater on all purchases. If you can't do a 25% tip or higher, don't order. All right, you guys, have a great day.
Don't order. How long does it take you into live, bitch? Oh my gosh, this is cold. Oh, I love it. It's so funny. Why isn't it ending? Oh, okay, might be about to restart. Bar crawls all weekend. If you're into that sort of thing, check Eventbrite. I have 4 children and have been withheld from communication with the youngest daughter and had far less than normal contact with the big kids since September. Please, Ethane, fix this ASAP.
Hi, you guys. This is my third attempt at posting. Everyone keeps asking what's going on with the campaigning. How come I have not been campaigning? When are we going to start again? Everything that's gone on with Weston and my other 3 children, and all of the efforts that have been taken to keep me kind of in this space have been distracting, to say the least. But I would be lying if I said that the campaigning did not help me to stay on my path. It definitely does. So I'm going to get back to it. We're going to start with Fashion for Action for the entire month of December. And then 2026, kicking off the new year, we can do the first week, January 1 through 7, Fashion for Action. I'm going to post the details now.
Piss.
Y'all so stupid.
I will take the fun for that. That's where you find me at. Remember you find me at.
Oh my gosh.
As a photo, it works.
Thanks, babe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She seriously has to. Vivi or Viviana. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. She probably didn't answer, Heather. You have crossed the boundaries. Look at your face. She knows damn well she fucked up. They canceled another visit today, eliminate pain and suffering from existence, create AI that only allows for ideal circumstances with our loved ones. I swear that's so stupid. She looks so stupid.